Hello all Gooners, welcome back to the Arsenal Bloodline. This is the Clockend Time capsule and I am Elts. Thank you very much for joining me. So, this game, it doesn't require too much memory capacity in order to remember this game. This game was only 2 years ago and this game remains and probably always will live very long in my heart. This is one of my favorite games. I was in attendance in the famous Clockend, of course. And you know, when you're facing one of your rivals, because it was one of our rivals that I'm about to speak about. When you face one of your rivals, I always find there's always a certain buzz around the ground, always a certain atmosphere, and it was in full transparency this evening. It was a Sunday evening, or afternoon kickoff stroke evening on a Sunday, the 22nd of January 2023, and it was Arsenal versus Man United. What made this game even more special, what gave it even more impetus and even more, optimism amongst Gooners, was going into this game, we were top of the league. And going into that season, we were not expected to be in a title race at all. There was no expectation from Arsenal fans. The previous year, I think we just missed out on the top four, which was really gutting, really, because we had it in our hands and we missed out on the top four. So I think the remit going into this season, I think we just signed Gabriel Jesus, we signed Zinchenko, and so there was an element of, okay, we're gonna kick on, but we're gonna kick on in the sense that we'll cement our place in top four this season and we'll get that job done. But as it turned out, midway through January or approaching February, and we're top of the league, and we're top of the league by 5 points, and we're 11 points clear of today's opponents, Man United. Man United fans were under the impression that they were still involved in the title race. I remember that well. Although they might deny it now, they fully believed they was in a title race. And so yeah, by that remit and by that premise, there was everything to play for in this game, right? Yeah, the game started, and one of the features of the Arsenal team this season was we were starting games so quick, aggressive, on the front foot, and then there was no difference in this game. We were aggressive, we was on the front foot. Didn't create too many clear-cut chances in this period of time, but there was an intent and an aggressiveness about us which was there to see. However, midway through the first half, we suffered an abrupt slap in the face in way of Marcus Rashford. Thomas Partey and Saka transpired to lose the ball in the middle of the park. Bruno Fernandes feeds it immediately to Marcus Rashford. Thomas Partey, to his credit, tries to get back at Rashford, but Rashford does the most sumptuous bit of skill to get past Thomas Partey, sort of drags the ball away from him and goes clear, strides towards the goal and unleashes an absolute power driver of a shot into the near post. Aaron Ramsdale had no chance. Anyway, luckily for us, Man United's lead did not last long at all. We came back immediately. Nice little interchange between Zinchenko and Granit Xhaka on the left-hand side. Granit Xhaka puts in the most sumptuous cross from the left-hand side. Eddie Nketiah stays on his toes. Wan-Bissaka is absolutely sleeping, and Eddie Nketiah rises and headers us back into the game 1-1. I had an absolute perfect view of that goal, right on top of it. And we're back in the game. Beautiful response from the Arsenal. Not much happens between then and the end of the half, apart from Scott McTominay with a curling shot, which Aaron Ramsdale comfortably pushes out for a corner. But the game, we go into half time at 1-0. Man United slightly fortuitous us to be on level terms, but we hadn't created enough to really claim that we deserved the lead. But I think 1-0 was probably a fair reflection, although we were quite clearly the better team. Into the second half, the game becomes more about, can we score? You know, we've got all the possession, we're pushing, we're having shots. Saka hits the outside of the post with a beautiful shot. There's not that much coming back from Man United. Then midway through the second half is one of my favourite moments in Emirates history, that is for sure, and certainly one of my favourite moments in the last sort of 5 years. Certainly one of my favourite moments in the Arteta era, and one of my best memories of watching a game live in attendance. Arsenal have the ball. We're pushing without creating too much. But we've got the ball on the right-hand side. Tomiyasu just simply passes it inside to Bukayo Saka. Man United would have felt very safe at this particular moment in time. Saka doesn't have too many options. He could find Odegaard and maybe look for the 1-2. But Man United got everyone back in defence. There's not much on for Saka. But this is what I loved about this goal, is Saka said, you know what, I'm going to make something happen here. We need a goal. I'm going to get this team a goal. And what he does next is, he just carries the ball, comes inside, feints to shoot, takes it on another stride, and then unleashes an absolutely marvellous strike. An absolute wonderful, wonderful goal. It's my favourite Bukayo Saka goal. It's one of my favourite Emirates goals of all time. I love that goal. I love the way that goal made me feel. The noise of the crowd, the roar was sensational. I loved Bukayos celebration as well. He mimics Rashford in the same corner, and the fact that his strike nestled in the same corner that Rashford's strike did, and then he runs to the same corner that Rashford did when he was taunting our fans and does the same celebration. I love that. That's like my favourite Bukayo Saka moment. And I feel like that was the first moment that we saw a different side to Bukayo, like this kind of coming out, almost like this, you know, I'm the man, and really believing in himself, and almost developing a little bit of arrogance. We saw it again at White Hart Lane a couple seasons later, and I love that. And I feel like that was the birth of that new Bukayo. And you know, the fact that he runs to the corner and mimics exactly what Rashford done was brilliant. He done the same thing to James Maddison as well, and I was at that game as well. Maybe we'll talk about that game in the future. But anyway, so we've gone 2-1 up. Everyone's happy days. Marcus Rashford then finds himself on the left wing, dances through our defenders and hits a great shot. Aaron Ramsdale makes a fantastic save. About a minute or so later, they get a corner. Corner comes in. Aaron Ramsdale flaps it, completely misses it, and it falls to Martinez, who stoops low and sort of loops a header over Gabriel, who's on the line. And it's, to be fair, it's a fantastic goal. Like, it was a really good header from Martinez. I don't know how he's managed to he's almost stooped low and almost looped, like sort of scooped the ball with his head over another sort of flap at Ramsdale, and it's also looped over Gabriel's head, who's on the line, and it nestles in. And again, I had the perfect view of that. Couldn't believe it. I really failed to understand how Man United managed to get another goal back, how it was 2-2. We were in such a moment of ascendancy and dominance in terms of, you know, possession of the ball. Man United didn't do too much. But, you know, here we are, 2-2, and I was thinking, damn, do we have enough in us to go and get another goal? There was an undercurrent of belief because of the way we'd been performing that season that we could get it, and we got it. So the ball's on the left-hand side. I believe it's Trossard or Zinchenko. I think it might have been Zinchenko, actually. No, it's Zinchenko. Zinchenko crosses the ball from the left. It falls to Odegaard, who's almost scooped shot. I don't know if he's gone for a shot or if he's tried to find it in Hincapie. I think he's actually gone for a shot, but it's been blocked and it's deflected into Eddie Hincapie's path. Eddie Hincapie sort of flicks his right leg at it and manages to prod it past David De Gea. Again, the Emirates is in absolute raptures, but that's brought to a sort of increasing halt as we realise that the players are celebrating. But you know, when it's like that half-hearted celebration, you're thinking, oh, what's going on here? as we realised that the players are celebrating, but you know when it's like that half-hearted celebration, you're thinking, oh, what's going on here? VAR comes in and you're thinking, oh no. And that VAR check lasted, I'm telling you, that VAR check lasted a good 5 minutes. And we're just standing there going, what's going on? Please give the goal, please give the goal. Referee blows the whistle, he gives the goal to us. And it's a bit of a shame that moment though, because even though, you know, was happy the referee's giving it, it kind of killed the celebration. You know, it killed the celebration. You know, the initial celebration was like, yes, but it was maybe 75% of, we kind of knew that something was going on because the players weren't fully celebrating. The referee kind of seemed like he was thinking about something. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame, but look, he gave it and we celebrated and we went on to win the game and kill Man United's title hopes and put ourselves 8 points clear of Manchester City. Great game, man. And it's when you know you've had a great game is when you leave the stadium and you feel a certain level of satisfaction. Now, most games, when I leave the stadium, I'm hop skipping it down Holloway Road to Highbury and Islington Station. But I was still outside the ground about an hour later. And there was a lot of people like that because there was almost like a, oh my God, I think that was when there was a real belief that year that we could actually go and win that title. Obviously, as it turned out, we know we didn't. Man City caught us. And they caught us well in the end. But there was a real belief after that Man United game that we were going to go on and do something special. There just felt like there was something special in the air that season. That's a season that I really cherish. You know, we didn't win it, but there was a real enjoyable element to that season, 2022 to 2023. And that Man United game really encapsulated that feeling in the 90 minutes. So yeah, one of the many Arsenal Man United games that I've been to over the years, but that one was a standout. You know, to and fro in terms of the goal scoring, a game that we were the better team in, but Man United kept us honest. You know, they kept us really grounded in that game, but we got a deserved win in the end. And yeah, it was a special feeling kind of game, you know, special feeling kind of game for sure. So yeah, that is today's Clockend Time capsule. Hope you enjoyed. Watch out for many more. And yeah, Arsenal Man United never fails to put a smile on my face when we win, that is. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave your comments below if you remember the game, and let me know what some of your best games are as well, by the way. That'd be really quite nice to hear that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and watch out for the next Clockend Time capsule. I'm Elts of the Arsenal Bloodline. See you later.